All right. Hello, everybody. You are here today with Shannon Doyle and April Sanderson from LSS Financial Counseling, and we're going to talk to you today about what to do if you get an influx of unexpected money. Hey, April, what kind of tips do you have for us?
Yes, and thank you, Shannon. And again, I really just want to make absolute clear that this is an influx of money that is outside of month-to-month income. So this assumes that month-to-month income is already covering, the majority of your bills, and this is that extra money that can be used for additional things. So this isn't going to be used to survive on. This is additional surplus money, so to speak.
Right,
So
right.
the first thing that you want to do is catch up on any outstanding bills. It can be really easy to fall behind, especially if something happened or, we had short-term issues, which, I mean, look around in the world today, there's a lot of things that are coming up that are putting our month-to-month bills either in jeopardy or making them fall behind a little bit. So that is the first thing that we want to do with any extra income is bringing us back up to balance so that our feet are on dry land. That's kind of the first thing that we want to do. Second, we want to address any repair or maintenance needs that we have. A lot of people put off those oil changes, need for brakes, alignments, tires, all those kind of things. This is a perfect time to use that money to catch that or to address those needs so that it doesn't become an emergency down the road and you're actually able to preserve that asset and keep that being an asset instead of a burden or a major stressor. Same with our home, it can be very easy for that crack in the window or leaky dishwasher, water heater where the element keeps going out, those kind of things. It can be really
Right.
easy to continue to put those off. Now is the time to address those. So again, they're not a stress on us. They're not something that we're constantly worried about. And then our own medical needs or dental needs. I know I personally have been putting off replacing a crown. So that is something that with a extra influx of money can get done and then allow me to not have that be a stressor and not have that become a bigger issue down the road.
Right, right. Yes.
And the next thing is the thing that probably everybody thought that I would say first and foremost is once you're caught up on your month to month bills, once you don't have any big needs that need to be taken care of, now establish or build emergency savings. Because if you did this first and you didn't catch up on those utilities and then it led to a shut off, well, that's going to eat up all that emergency savings that you had and could even potentially cause additional problems.
Right.
Those, avoiding those car maintenance needs that could lead to your car breaking down. And if you still have a loan on it, well, now you need to use that emergency savings that you put aside to not only address that outstanding bill, but potentially also go towards getting a new vehicle, which is never fun. So establish and build emergency savings. Very few people have emergency savings right now. It's somewhere in the 40% range that have the ability to address a $400 emergency. And when you think about $400, that's not a huge emergency. That's a minor car repair. That's, one trip to the doctor could cost that. That's one ER visit, not to mention if that ER visit turned into a hospital, say, that kind of stuff. So starting and emergency savings. I cannot stress enough how important that is, and making sure that if you have a little bit, boost it. You know, it can be really hard to say, well, what is putting $25 a month away really going to do? But if you already have 1,200 in there and you're adding $25 a month, then it feels like, wow, now I'm really building it. Now it's going faster and it feels better. So that can be a huge way to smooth out your finances and help you to weather any of those other financial storms that are going to come along, because we know they always come along. Next thing to do, pay down outstanding debt. You know, if your month to month bills are good, if you're addressed all your needs, if your emergency savings is where you want it to be, now's the time to pay down outstanding debt and address the debt that is going to help you feel better and feel the most progress. So this could be the highest interest, the lowest balance, anything that helps to make you feel motivated. This could also be that past collection debt from a couple years ago that you've wanted to address but never really got around to and never really filed. Now is the time to address that stuff before it becomes even uglier and really comes kind of bites you in the butt a little bit. So all of that stuff is a great way to do it. Paying bills ahead, next amazing thing to do with that little bit of influx in cash, because it can not only help you to get into a better financial routine where it doesn't feel like you're kind of always chasing the next paycheck. It can make you feel like you're ahead of the game, one step ahead of the game, which is great. I use the example of paying insurance 6 months at a time versus 1 month at a time. But Shannon, before we were talking and you had mentioned that you used an influx of money to get your rent paid ahead of time so that you could then pay half out of each paycheck so that you had a little more wiggle room between check to check. And that's huge, having that freedom.
Absolutely. It gave my family a lot more breathing room once we were able to split out our rent payment between two different checks instead of trying to pull it all together from one.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what it's all about, is it's about finding that stability and about that breathing room so that you can feel like you're in control of your budget instead of feeling like you're controlled by your budget. The next thing to do, you've caught up on all of that, and you might be looking at this going, I'm never going to get to this point. But if you think about it, use two tax refunds, and yeah, it might be 2 years, but that could be what it takes to get to this point, and then it's all gravy from there, you know? So investing in retirement, investing in your future costs that you want to do, and future costs might be you want to take a yearly vacation, or you want to knock some things off a bucket list. I had a friend that wanted to go to Italy, and she took out a small portfolio with the help of her credit union financial planner, and in 2 years was able to take the trip of a lifetime, 2 weeks in Italy. I mean, that's
Wow.
amazing. Yeah. And, you know, everybody thinks, oh, that's great for them. I'll never get there. That's great for them. I'll never get there. But really pre-planning out these influxes can get you there and really can get you to where you want to be in a great way, and in a way that isn't making you feel like you're depriving yourself in other areas.
It's
And
like
the
that old
last
saying, a journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Shannon. I love that little, you're so great with quotes. And so I love that you're here because that helps. But the last thing is really investing in yourself, especially in these times where we're feeling the, we're feeling kind of isolated. We're feeling kind of that ho hum. It's nice out, but it's not like we can do a lot of things. Now's the time to really invest in ourselves. And that could be professionally, but really personally, and really think, what do I want to do for myself? What kind of impact can I be? What's going to make me a better person? What's going to make me be a more fulfilled person? So that could be hobby wise, that could be volunteering, that could be, whatever you find yourself that's going to give you a little bit of self care, but is also going to help you feel just a lot better about where you are in the world that we are in today. Um,
I think too, when you look at investing in yourself, you don't need a large influx of money to do that. You know, a lot of those
yes,
things you can do even with just a little small amount of money, or even by looking up free classes online.
exactly, exactly. It might be, I just want to get back in touch with nature. That's a walk outside. That might not be um having, like, you have to go really anywhere rural. I watched a YouTube video of a guy that set up a bird feeder in his backyard, and he's in a bustling city, and he just had a teeny tiny, in my Minnesota view of a backyard, it was, it looked to be like 5 square feet. It was, I felt bad for the guy. I was like, you call that a backyard? But he set up a bird feeder, and he saw possum, he saw birds, he saw squirrels, all this stuff. And he said it was amazing just getting out and being able to watch that just for a little bit, how much more connected to nature he felt by that. So it doesn't take a lot, and being able to kind of see what you have is a great way to help you start seeing the possibilities that are beyond that. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this. With your credit union, you are able to have up to 6 free appointments with LSS Financial Counseling. So at any time, if you have any questions about, well, how do I create that budget so that an influx of money isn't something that is going to be needed to survive on? What if I want to pay down that debt? How is that going to look? What if I have past due credit stuff out there? How do I address that? All of that stuff is stuff that LSS counselors can help you with through a free appointment. So give us a call. We can help you work through all of that. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, April, for all your great tips.